and they try and become someone that they're not, and it's a little crazy.
I know it's been maybe a little longer than you guys since I've been in school, but I remember there were, the popular group and then the unpopular group and then the nerds and whatever. Obviously, they still have that going on in school. So how do you guys deal with that? It sounds like you guys are into things that the typical teenager might not be into, physics and Rube Goldberg and acting. I mean, that's something that, some teenagers might not be involved with. So do you guys feel like you're different, or do you stick out? Does it bother you? Does it not bother you? Nylejah, Jordan, whichever one you want to start answering that one.
Yeah, I definitely feel a little like outside the crowd a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It used to bother me so much, but like it doesn't really bother me now because I'm happy with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I do stuff that makes me happy. It's not up to anyone else what we do. If they don't like it, that's not their problem. It's our lives. We're gonna go far in our lives. So be happy what you're gonna do.
So it's just being you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Being you.
How do you how do I want to say this? How do you deal with someone who tries to make you fit in or say things to you that might, upset you, or make you embarrassed or force you into trying to fit in with what they do? How do you, have you ever had anything happen to you? I think, Nylejah, you mentioned one time you had someone that happened to you. Or Jordan, have you ever had someone that's kind of make you try to fit in?
Yeah, like if you wear like why are you wearing those shoes? Like no one wears those, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like if someone like will tell you, like don't, like, someone will tell you, like it's a kind of a funny situation because like people will tell you stuff, and you're like, please come on now, like. I find that funny when people try to tell you, like, oh, you shouldn't wear that. You shouldn't look like this. You should do your hair this way. Why do you do your hair like that? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not up to you, And it's just, I deal with it. I usually laugh it off or ignore it and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about is cyberbullying. What you guys have heard about cyberbullying? Does that go on in the school?
It goes on in the school a lot. Also, like, what happens is, like, people will cyberbully online, and then what happens is it'll come out to school, and then, like, just massive chaos and stuff like that. Not really massive, but, like, they'll have fights or over it, and it's crazy. There's a site called FormSpring.
What is it? FormSpring?
You can ask people anonymous questions, and a lot of times those questions are really hurtful. Like, I've gone on a couple of my friends' pages and seen some really nasty, hurtful stuff that I was just like, that's totally ridiculous. Like, it's really sad.
I'm going to touch on something just a little bit. It's called sexting. You guys heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
You did. What is that? I'll be honest with you. I have an idea what it is. And if you feel uncomfortable answering it, you don't have to. We can move on to another topic if you like. But is that really exploiting yourself on texting? I mean, is that's you've heard of it, Nylejah?
Yeah, I haven't seen it being that common, but it's coming out a lot more now, and a lot of people are sending like pictures of themselves, and it's not good because it comes out in the school, and then the principals find out, and then they get in trouble with the
What do you mean it
school.
comes out in the school?
Like sometimes they start gossiping about it. It spreads around, and the teachers find out. Yeah, it spreads really quickly, and it's not good.
Really?
Because I don't know, it's like they send pictures to boyfriends, and they're trying to impress them, but
Just a little bit on a side note with that. What do you think? Why do you think a young lady or a young lady would do something like that? Is it to get attention, or is it maybe not feeling loved? What do you think?
It's definitely insecurities and definitely attention. Maybe they're not getting something at home that they feel that maybe their boyfriend or friends can give them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these and even the Facebook. Is that where a lot of the cyberbullying goes on Facebook, or is it other places?
Well, it used to go on Facebook a lot, but now there's like a lot more people seeing it, so it's kind of like less rare. But they'll put it on something more like so that no one can really see it.
they started something with BBM, Blackberry mail.
What is it?
BBM.
I'm getting the education, hanging out with my girl. I'm getting the education. And what is that? BBM?
BBL, Blackberry mail.
Blackberry mail.
And they would BBM like groups of people, and it's this new thing I started hearing about in school. And you would send, like, you would group two people together and say which one looks better, and you would like have these two pictures, and these two people would they would kind of like, I guess, argue and like who looks better in the picture. It's really.
Are you kidding
That
me?
used to happen in Facebook too. Like people would like vote, like they would set like a picture of two people, and they would vote like who looks better, and everyone would comment or like it or whatever. And another thing I heard on the BBMs that there was like some kind of list going around, like a horror list or something like that.
What?
Yes, like a list of people that were like the top, fastest girls. You know what I mean?
And boys too.
And boys, yes.
And boys. There were several lists too. There were like 3 going around in 1 week, and it's hurtful because I mean you can't just group people out like that. It's not nice.
But I can tell, with you guys being active in acting and Latin and all this kind of stuff, you guys seem like you're aware of it, which I think is you need to be aware of it, but you seem like you haven't been caught up in that. How are you not being caught up in that? I'm curious. I think I know, but you want to share how you're not caught up? It's about choices, right?
It's definitely about choices. Choosing not hanging around with certain people. Like I've definitely had to like strain away from people I used to hang out with because of things that they were doing that I didn't agree with at all. And that definitely, like, I knew that God wouldn't allow in my life, that my parents wouldn't allow in my life. So I would strain away from it. Your group of friends, the people who you hang out with, are definitely, it's a really big thing to, like, with peer pressure. You want to stay with a group that is not going to force you to do things that you don't want to do, that don't do things that you don't want to do at all.
Right. So, because I think even for adults, your friends sometimes reflect who you are. So
Definitely.
if you're hanging out with maybe one of those people that are on that list, even if you're not, and that might be a little difficult. What if you really are kind of friendly with maybe one of those persons for real, and then you're kind of be seen hanging out with them, and so all of a sudden you hear that you're part of that list.
Yeah.
So that could be a little difficult. So how do you kind of would deal with that if there's a friend that might be on that list and you know it? Would you maybe encourage them even? I know sometimes, because I know, Jordan, you're a very good encourager. Would it be a time when you could probably even maybe befriend them, trying to give them some good advice about their morals and values maybe?
Yes, definitely. Especially when someone's in that time of need that you have to encourage. A lot of times when someone's very like confused and upset and angry, sometimes everyone wants to like leave that person alone, but sometimes that's a great time to encourage that person with the time that they're going through, especially in a lot of social drama situations. It's very tough to be alone.
Yeah. What about alcohol and drugs in the school? How is that, you're 14 and you're 16. Are there kids in your class that you think that might be involved with drugs and alcohol, Nylejah? Do you know?
Yeah.
They are.
It's kind of open in high school. It's not
They
very
brag about it?
Yeah, it's not very hidden, and it's
Really?
No, not really. It's pretty open in school, and I don't know. It's out there, and I feel like it's not getting worse, but it's just like they're finding new ways to do things, and it's just they have other things now where they like have the marks in their eyebrows, and that represents whether they're in like a gang or something. It's pretty open, and I don't know. I feel like the teachers know, but they're not doing much about it. They're not doing what they should to get rid of it.
Really?
But there are programs out there like CAP. I'm a CAP peer leader, and you go to the middle school and you try and like stop it, before it happens. But
no, I think you did mention you used to be involved with CAP. So what actually is CAP? What is that? Community Awareness Program, right?
Yep.
Oh, I remembered. And so what do you actually do with that? You volunteer?
Yeah, you volunteer and you go to the middle school and you teach kids about taking the right choices, about decision making, about steering away from drugs and what it can do to you and how bad it is. And some of the kids have it in their families. It's really involved with the family and how they have it in their families and that's how they see it. And they feel like it's okay because they've seen it all their lives and their older sisters are doing it and brothers are doing it. It's sad, but it's helping, I think.
That's
that
good.
program.